Right, it's time to recap the vocabulary we've learned from this program about AI, including chatbots, computer programs designed to interact with humans over the internet.
The adjective cognitive describes anything connected with the mental processes of knowing, learning, and understanding.
Wishful thinking means thinking that something which is very unlikely to happen might happen one day in the future.
To anthropomorphize an object means to treat it as if it were human, even though it's not.
When you're blindsided, you're surprised in a negative way.
And finally, to get taken in by someone means to be deceived or tricked by them. My computer tells me that our 6 minutes are up. Join us again soon. For now, it's goodbye from us.
Bye.